Hello everyone. Welcome back again, of course. And firstly, before I begin this video, I would like to share a bit of my story, right? My story in the sense that this incident or this happened to me. Okay, this I think was 2 3 years back, right? I was, of course, again, you know, that time, I was in class. Right now, I'm going to class 12. So 3 years before means I was in class 9. Yeah, so around class 9, 8 transitioning to 9, that period. So um, I, now of course, back then it was just after the online, maybe 1 or 2 years after that COVID lockdown opened, right? And of course, by that time, phone addiction became a very common, not only with me but with my peers as well, and it affects people even to this date. So I randomly went through my phone, my reels, my shorts basically. That time I also had Instagram as well, so I used to go through that also. But currently I don't. But anyways, so I saw some, all those. Now also it's becoming really popular nowadays that okay, be a billionaire and all those things. That okay, there are some people or some editors who glorify millionaires and all the actions of them, like let's say Elon Musk. Like another video, let me give for an example, that there was a bidding auction that okay, this car going for around some million dirhams. I think that was Dubai money, so from, I mean, from the south, that countries. So don't have much idea about the dirhams, but anyway, so I think it's more like a currency only. So of course, that car is some. I think it was some kind of Bugatti or something like that. So I also saw that okay, one person was bidding for this, and the highest bid was 24 million dollars, 24 million dirhams, right? And also another video I also saw was that a similar kind of age, maybe a 2 3 years bigger than me that time. Currently, I think they might have been 17 or 16. So a person, he recorded the interview of youngest or young millionaires. So there I saw people who of my age or almost my age, having cars, Lamborghinis, separate houses, and all those. And especially the edits that are made, that okay, of course, glorifying them, that okay, um, Lamborghini and all this suit, aura, and all those everything, right? So it's fine, all fine. I also watched them, and I also wanted to be a billionaire. Someone great like Elon Musk, or rich money. Of course, now all these allegations against Elon Musk and Bill Gates, Trump were not that prevalent during that time. Of course, they were, but it was not that much prevalent because the files were not released. So we were, you can say, I kind of envied them that okay, they have this much money, this much car, and all this. So fine, I also thought that okay, I also want to become a big businessman, go some foreign country and make money and all those. But fast forward today, my mindset is a lot different, and honestly, I kind of, you can say, I resent those people who are billionaires. Now, before you keep quickly come and give slangs to me, there are a few reasons, right? See, firstly, is that I accept that I was also many people who they know that they still watch this video, that motivation and all this to this date, that okay, work upon yourself. Of course, working upon yourself is very necessary, but those things, that becoming a billionaire, becoming, buying a private jet. I also had a dream of, or so-called dream, because that dream was not natural. That was again conditioned. Because if I did not see the video of this Elon Musk and all those, or that kind of things, then I would not have any ambition, or I would not rather even think about buying a private jet. But I thought so because I was conditioned by those videos. I was conditioned by the society in general as well. Also, thankfully, my family was kind of middle class, upper middle class family. So I'd never faced the uh, problem of poverty, because if I was poor, then I would be more determined to make all those money. So thankfully, that was by God's grace, of course, but of course by chance. But I that society couldn't condition me much about it. But to be honestly, I spend more time in social media that during that, and then I spent in the real world. So what I did was that, yeah, I thought that okay, let's make some money and all this stuff. So of course, but as I progressed onto the methods of, I saw a few videos that how to make money and all those. But as I progressed deeper and deeper into the subject, into the topic, I was stunned. I had this kind of moral kind of thing that in within me that stopped me, I guess, because I could see how blindly people were exploited in the mass scale. Let's take the example for a very common example of the porn industry. So uh, I like I did not know that people can be manipulated on these two senses. That okay, on this a few senses that they whatever people do is because of their senses, right? So that time I didn't know, but I realized while I was working for all these business models and stuff, I realized that the porn industry, if you just go and search on Google that how much porn websites get views, you will be stunned by looking at the amount, the daily traffic that happens in those websites, right? It's clearly alarming, honestly. If you just go, you can just search out for the data. I think it's really available. Just some websites are also available where you can see that top you know website users. First, I think there would be Google, and this, of course, because that is very default. And in the second or third, YouTube and another, you will see another porn website, right? So that is, of course, pretty the, that do you know that porn industry is, of course, and because of this large traffic, the porn stars, they make huge amounts of money. That thing is there. Another thing is sports. Now sports inherently is not bad, neither is sex as well. But sports, how do we do it? That okay, this player, glorify him, we make the player sell the brands, the companies, the big companies, the big bulls, you can kind of say. They what they do, they use these famous players to advertise their product. And of course, we being human beings get inspired by this, by those people, and we also try to be like them, and hence we also try to cultivate what they do. So one of my friends, let me give an example of one of my friends. So he was a great fan of Virat Kohli, and when Virat Kohli launched his two yum chips brand, that so he was very, of course, very fond of Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli promoted it. And of course, I'm not criticizing Virat Kohli; he's an excellent player, but of course he promoted it that okay, fine, and all those. So what he began to do is that he began to take those chips almost each and every day, and time passed, and in a few months or few years, he got fat and he had to undergo a weight loss surgery. Um, Now, of course, uh, it's warning were given by both his doctors and parents, but he was so obsessed. Uh, First with Virat Kohli, and then he got obsessed with these chips, and so he just kept on eating it even when he knew that his you can say kind of life was in danger. But still, he chose to do it. But that's another case. Whatever he has done, he had learned from it, and now, of course, he is improving. But see about these billionaires, as you can see, they will tell you all kinds of stuff that okay, we want to make world a better place. They all know that, of course, this climate changing and all this global warming and all this is a very rising concern, but they are not doing something about it. If you can just go out to the, again, go to Google, you can search out annual the highest number of tons or metric tons of CO2 emitted by various personalities. You will see the percentage in the top, like Elon Musk, um, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, all these people you will see. I just saw some similar kind of video. If I can, I will definitely pin it. But saw a similar kind of video where they talk about all this. But can you see that all these people, this Trump and this our Epstein and Elon Musk and all those, see how did they get so much power? We ourselves being blind, we gave them this kind of power, right? So as I was telling that as a child, as in eighth grade, I had all these dreams of becoming this billionaire and all those stuff. But it was all fine until I realized that how money affects us and how do we get money actually. Right, that when I learned that how can excess money be made, I just um, gave up. I just developed an immediate sense of hatred towards money itself. Now, of course, I was not saying that it was in an instant. It took a few years of time, of course. But now you on the contrary, might be asking me that why is money bad? Of course, because money is, of course, required. Now, if I say that money is, we don't need money and all those, detach yourself. Of course, detaching yourself is a very great and very noble task. But when I say that, money, if I say that money does not mean everything, some people will counteract that, how, without money how can you survive? But that is true. In fact, I agree that without money you just cannot survive. You needed money previously also. You need it more currently also. And as the prices and all these inflation things, as these conditions will go up, prices will rise. Of course, you need money to survive. But the thing I want to convey is that money cannot buy everything, or money is not the only solution. Because how can you solve your own inner animal with that money, right? So with that, if you are someone, let's say previously you were, let's say take for an hypothetical situation, right? So you are a, let's say three people. One people is that I this also I heard from, I saw from another famous channel this concept, but I forgot the name again, I'm very sorry. But there were three kinds of people. One is that he used to watch porn. Second was that he used to drink a lot of wine. And the third one, he used to read a lot of books. Three kinds of people there were. So magically, what happened was that, let's assume magically. So what happened was that the person who always watched porn and always masturbated and all those. So when he was given the money, and he was allowed to become a billionaire. So he became a billionaire. So can you guess what did he do after becoming a billionaire? It's really easy. Do you know what he did? He paid five girls and he asked them to roam with him, and of course had sexual sex with them, and indulged in, you can say, kind of physical touch and all those. So can you see, money did not change that person. The same person who was again watching the woman in their device, what he could now do was that he had the enough money to pay a woman to be his, you can say, kind of reproducing partner or pleasure partner, uh, kind of like side characters in a movie. So that the woman can please, by their looks and by their actions, please the so-called billionaire. That one he did. The second one, who used to drink a lot of wine, what he did was that he opened his own wine business, and what he did is, he used to get intoxicated with his friends each week, on Saturday night, and he used to, again, same thing, indulge in all these vices of, I hope you understand, girls, corruption and all those, right? But the other person who became a billionaire, and he became, of course, famous and all those, he was again reading books. So can you see, it's the person who you are. It's not the money that defines you, right? So I heard this quote again, as I am a JE aspirant, and of course this IIT is very much common. This IIT is very much appreciated institute in our country. So what happened is that, similar kind of video that I am making was made by another person, that telling that, okay, IIT is not everything, but that was again to satisfy the ego. But um, another a person I saw that wrote in the comments that crying in IIT is better than crying for IIT. Now, at the first glance, it might seems like, okay, the sadness has been like, see, previously what happened that he was crying, internally, that, okay, I did not get IIT and all those. But now, even after he has got IIT, then also he's crying, and he's saying that it is better to, you know cry in IIT than crying for IIT. But can you realize the problem still persisted? If you're all your life, what you are running behind is to not suffer, is to be pleasurable, or is to be happy, because ultimately, whatever you do, whatever, let's say you are watching this video, let's not take this video as an example. Let's say you are eating some food, or let's say you are talking with some friend, or you are talking with some partner, or you are just watching some movies or something like that. So what you are ultimately doing is that again you are just trying to feel happy, satisfied with your life, and of course that is the reason people do all this nonsense love and all this, because they feel incomplete. Why incomplete? Again, because there is an inner hollow. That's why they always try to grab things that, okay, give me this, give me that, so that they want all these kinds of things, and they think that, okay, if I get this thing I will be happy, or if I get that kind of money, or if I get that kind of car, that kind of house, I will be happy, that kind of wife, that kind of kids, right? And of course I have repeated it many times as well, that these wants are conditioned, right? Your wants are conditioned. Do you know why? Let's take for example in India. You see a white girl and you see a black girl, right? Again, no racism intended, it's just an example, it's just what happens. So, or vice versa, another girl, he sees a white boy, or a black boy, not considering the personality traits and all those, just looking at their face, right? So the person with the white skin or fair skin, would be considered more beautiful, or more kind of say you can decent, elegant in our society. Because see, I'm not saying that people don't find black people attractive. Of course, everyone is attractive, right? Everyone is beautiful. That's no issue. But in especially India, I am not sure of other countries. I'm sure it's almost the same in some other countries, or might be a bit different. In some countries, maybe prefer uh, pe- uh, people prefer brown skin, or bit of tan skin. But in India, what happens is that people generally prefer fair, decent skin. Even what can I say? My inter-family marriages, that, okay, inter-family means my relatives, or my brothers, not siblings basically. When no, not siblings, I mean cousins, actually, right? Cousins. So when they get married, the both of them are, maybe my cousin was a bit black, but when he actually married the girl, he was white. Now of course there's no problem in a black guy or a white girl marrying a person with a different color. Of course color is again just a material. But if you see people in general, and also for this reason, black people become insecure, that, okay, why am I black and all those. Because why do these people become insecure? Because they see that the society is giving more importance to the fair people, right? And see, some people, I one of my best friends, I talk with him every day, he's a very good friend of mine. He is black, but why does it matter? If the friendship is real, if the love is real, why does color matter at all? Of course it does not, right? But the general tendency in India is that people will be more attracted towards the person who is more fair skin. So can you understand, this is just, again, you can kind of say a conditioned want, because whatever you want your partner to be like this and all those, this, where do they come from the movies. You see the actresses nowadays, most of them, I'm not taking the name of anyone specifically, but most of them, except a select few, they focus on many. This is a very famous news and very recent as well, that many actresses are undergoing face surgeries. Why? To look more beautiful. You will see many actresses having almost a similar kind of facial structure and all those, because that was because, again, they wanted to be better, they wanted to look good, so that more films and more popularity, that kind of thing, so that their insecurity, their ego is taken care of, right? So it happens not even in normal, it happens even in the, what do I say, even in the Hollywood. Many people undergo face surgeries and try to look better and all those, but instead of being their natural self. Why? Because again there's a constant insecurity, that what if, see, ultimately you have to go get old and you will die, but they don't realize it. The fact that you will die, people don't realize. They think that, okay, fine, like currently I was a bit obsessed with my hair, and if you just go a few videos back, I was a bit obsessed. Means the hair looked good. In fact, many of my friends told me that if you go to one of a few of my first videos, which I made on this channel, my hair looked well. But I was not much, attracted to this hair. The hair grew naturally because I did not cut it for a long time. I was busy, so the hair grew naturally. And when my mother told me, and I was also facing a bit very hot, and it was, of course, in India there's 40 degree, 50 degrees summer heat. So I just cut my hair, and you can see, then also I did not look that much good. Many of my friends told me that you, what haircut have you done and all those, but it did not affect me because, see, I know this hair. If I cut, if I don't cut, then it will again grow back, and again I will have the around the same hairstyle. And if I cut, then again, see, my friends, they judge me on the basis of how I look. But I know that even if I cut my hair, or even if I don't, I am the same person. I am the same. My consciousness is the same. Why will I let my consciousness get affected by how I look, right? So that's the thing. That's the want that is conditioned. That okay, okay, this kind of hair looks good, so I want to keep this kind of hair. Like when I was in class 8 and 9, then also I had uh, this thing that okay, I want to look good, so I used to try out different types of hairstyles. But uh, I and for recently I don't generally do it. You tried out some kind of hairstyle that said like this and something like that. I don't exactly know what's that called, but fine. And this one was my natural, so it just came out as it is. So I have no, of course, I have no issues regarding that. I don't use any other uh, hair products to specifically maintain my hair. But that's the thing that this all these wants are conditioned, and these billionaires, what they do is that they influence people to um, buy that kind of thing, so that the people are more desperate for buying their products. Like many of the games I know you have played, that where they give you a small kind of demo. It's a very clever method. You need to realize it. Some clever method or a trial, and after that you are kind of forced. Or after are in a main point or in a very interesting what you can say breakthrough, then suddenly the game says pay money to buy the full bundle and all those things. And now, if you were directly looked just at the price there, then you might not be much interested in it. But let's say you found the game very interesting and you were playing it, and in the middle of a main scene, that pop up flashed, and of course, there would be first a bit of disappointment that I have to pay money. But you would be more tempted to buy the game because now you know that okay, it gives me pleasure. So you are hollow from within, right? So that is why you are always chasing all this stuff that okay, give me that girl, give me that. I know I'm using very niche and very low level languages, that okay, give me this girl. But that's what basically happens, that especially in India it's very common that people say लड़की कितनी hot है यार, कितनी sexy है, and all those things. Even my friends say, of course, what I can do, again, it's just conditioning. What, see, of course I am doing currently. So what, but the thing is, you need to awaken your consciousness as well. How will these rules and regulations stop us? Can you say? Now, of course, rules and regulations are very important. I agree, and they indeed play a very much important role. Like all these POSCO and all these acts, it's good that they are there, and these religion restrictions, social restrictions are very very much beneficial. Otherwise, each and every person would be an animal of their own, having sex with another other gender, eating whatever they want. And in India, especially, as the government does not care much about, normally about the streets. Just see how, even if I step outside my streets, especially in slum areas, you will just see that how dirty the streets are. My street is, my city is in Kolkata, very, what can I say, big city, metropolitan city. But just go out, just go a bit further, you will just see garbage lying everywhere. So, and the pond previously 5 years back it was just green, and now you see that there are only idols. There are a bit of algae, so much algae, and so much, what can I say, plants, aquatic plants, and basically junk, garbage also is there. A lot of garbage, weeds, all those. So that is just again because people are not much concerned about it, and the government also hardly concerns about the roads. Maybe during the voting comes, maybe they get tempted that okay, I need to tell the citizens that okay, I am doing something, I will do something. So then they do, otherwise they don't. This is the truth. I have no fear in saying the truth, right? Again, people who don't say the truth are just cowards, because they fear that if they say the truth, then they will lose their power or they will lose their influence. That's why you have never you will almost never see anyone exposing any billionaire or exposing their weaknesses or telling the truth that okay, I manipulate you and all those. They will again try to, if you ask that person or anyone that that what are you trying to do, any billionaire, then he will try to say that okay, I'm doing this for the welfare and of this all this. But if you attack anyone directly that this, let's say you are using this private jet, so it's emitting so much CO2, so why are you not disbanding the private jet and all this? So he will try to, of course, ignore that question or twist it altogether, because he knows that's wrong and he realizes it, but he is just blind. He knows that he will die after a few years. Let the generation suffer. Let me enjoy. Enjoy in the sense, why enjoy? Because he is unsatisfied. That's the reason. That's the reason he's looking for enjoyment. So ultimately, at the core level, me, you, each and every one of us is an animal. But how are we different from animal, or are we even different? Because ultimately, what animals do: sleep, eat, reproduce. What we humans as scripted do, scripted humans do: sleep, eat, reproduce. How are we different then? We are different because we have a kind of choice, a choice to be better, choice to uplift ourselves, right? Uplift ourselves, again, people get this in the wrong notion that become billionaire or become rich and happy life, but you are not thinking about others. You, let's say you have another person who is just beside you and you know the solution to a particular problem. Let's have he's about to suicide, and you are just sitting beside him and he's telling you that okay, I want to suicide, I'm just completely broken, I don't know what to do. Will you go away from that place, just yeah fine, just leave him alone, or would you have an internal tinge, or would you have an internal that desperation that okay, I want to help him, and realize that this desperation is not conditioned? Because how can this be conditioned? Because of course, not considering that okay, he's my family, he's my girlfriend or partner, that's why a random person, let's say I or any random YouTube stranger just sitting beside you and crying and telling that I want to suicide and all those. So from internal you will have this feeling that okay, I know how to prevent him. I know that if I explain him that all these walls are if I explain this dent model, or if I explain him that these are all just material things, that these are all, we are, I mean, incomplete, that's why we are looking for the certificate. If you explain him, then he will real then you know that he will realize and he will not commit a suicide. So will you not help him? Answer honestly. Don't that no, I'm a sigma male or something like that. Not in that sense. Answer honestly, that would you not help him, even if a random stranger? Forget your social insecurities, forget your egoistic mentality, forget your any other thing which you think you are. Just want to be internally so much pushed, motivated that yeah, I want to help him to get out of this of his miserable situations. I'm guaranteeing you, I bet my life on this, you will be 101%, right? So that's the thing. We have the choice, we have the consciousness, and we have to awaken it. And that's the reason I am making this channel, I am making these videos. I have nothing to gain honestly from these videos. Um, but only to share, right? So see why I have nothing to gain, because see, I'm studying, and of course if I go with my along scripted life, if I go with so-called scripted life, then what I will do, I'll go to a good college, I will try to impress the interviewer, and I will try to end up a job, land up a job in good company, or prepare for further IIM and brand director, some kind of top position in a company, so for someone else company. Honestly, I don't want all of that. I've never wanted fame, I've never wanted glory. um I scored a bit in my secondary education, but the prizes were given, but I did not go because see again, I by the time I knew that these were all material, right? And this just again, for the desire for prize will just increase if I go and take the prize, right? So that's why I didn't go. So that's it. So the only option you have is to just awaken your consciousness. That's the best thing you can do. And of course, if you have, I think that's all I had to say for this video. And of course, if you have any other queries or any other doubts regarding this, please email me. I have balamehud@gmail.com. It's my official email. Just email me and I'll just see if your query and I'll reply to it. So I really hope that I could give you some valuable information, and you do apply this in your life, because until and unless you awaken yourself, you are the world's only hope, right? So please do it. It's my request, and of course, as always, take care. Thanks and bye bye.